Society has this script, right? That having a ton of friends is normal, and if you don't, then something's wrong with you. But what if that's just a bad script? Today, we're going to tear that idea apart. We're diving deep into the psychology of people who have few or no friends. And trust me, it is way more complex and fascinating than you've been led to believe. So let's just get right to it. Why? Why do some people move through life this way? Is it a choice? Are they broken? Or is there something else going on entirely? We're going to flip the script here. Instead of focusing on what's supposedly missing, we're going to look at how some brains are just wired differently, uniquely. And this quote, this right here, is the whole point. What if it's not about being broken? What if it's just about being misunderstood? This is such a huge shift in perspective. It's permission to stop blaming yourself and start understanding yourself. It's not about a flaw. It's about being a different kind of person in a world that, let's be honest, really pushes one type of social life. Okay, so let's dig into our first major idea here, the invisible social weight. You know how for some people, socializing seems as easy as breathing? They just do it. But for others, it feels like work, like real work. And I'm not just talking about being shy. This goes way deeper. It's about the actual, literal brain power it takes.
And this, right here, just nails the difference. For most people, a conversation is on autopilot. But for you, maybe it's like running a complex program. It's constant processing. It's not about hating people. It's that an interaction that feels light and simple to someone else can be this huge cognitive lift for you, this invisible weight that just leaves you drained.
So why is it so exhausting? Well, because your nervous system is basically a high-definition sensor. It's picking up everything, reading between the lines, processing tone, noticing tiny shifts in body language all at once. This isn't insecurity, it's sensitivity. Your brain isn't just worrying, it's working. 100%, it's a feature, not a bug. And that makes this next point so critical. Choosing to be alone after all that, that's not avoidance, it's regulation. It's like your brain is a supercomputer that's been running a massive calculation. You have to let it cool down. It's not about running away from people, it's about letting your system come back to neutral. Okay, so this leads right into the next piece of the puzzle. It's not just that socializing is tiring, it's that certain types of socializing are almost unbearable. We're talking about the quality of the interaction. You know those conversations that don't just feel kind of boring? They feel wrong. Let's talk about why. And there's a name for this feeling. It's called emotional incongruence. It's that subtle, weird vibe you get when someone's words don't match their energy. You know, the smile that doesn't reach the eyes, the overly enthusiastic great that just feels flat. You're not imagining it. Your brain is a finely tuned instrument for picking up on exactly that. And this is the perfect way to think about it. For your nervous system, inauthenticity is like static. It's just noise. It's this annoying, grating sound that you have to constantly work to tune out just to find the actual music. And that's why small talk can be so completely and utterly draining. It's all static. At the end of the day, this isn't about you being picky or judgy. It's about a fundamental, almost primal need for emotional safety. If what someone is saying doesn't line up with what you're sensing, your nervous system goes on high alert. It's a threat signal. So for a real connection to even begin to form, you have to feel safe. And you just can't feel safe when people are performing. All right, this next one is so important. We have got to talk about solitude versus loneliness. Society throws these two words around like they mean the same thing, but for the kind of person we're discussing, they are worlds apart. Let's really separate them. Look at this. Loneliness is pain. It's the ache of wanting connection and not having it. But aloneness, that can be pure relief. It's the freedom from having to put on a show, the freedom from having to constantly explain yourself. It's the absence of pressure. And for a brain that's always on, that silence is bliss. So please, don't think of time alone as just doing nothing. It's not withdrawal, it's recalibration. It's an active, necessary process. It's the time your brain needs to sort through all the data it collected, for the noise to finally fade out so you can hear your own thoughts again. It's not a luxury, it's essential maintenance. And this really gets to the heart of why you might be so selective with people. It's not about pushing everyone away. No, it's about searching for something specific. It's a hunt for quality, for depth, not just collecting contacts. It's depth over volume every single time.
Have you ever felt this? This is such a powerful paradox. You can be in a crowded room full of laughter and conversation and feel more alone than you do when you're actually by yourself. It's because the problem isn't the number of people, it's the lack of resonance. That feeling of, oh, you get it. You really see me.
So how do you find that resonance? Well, it's not magic, it's a process, and it has steps. It has to start with safety. When you feel safe, you can be authentic. When you're authentic, you can find people who are truly aligned with you, and that alignment leads to genuine understanding. You can't skip steps, you can't force it. That's why it's so rare, but man, when you find it, it's solid. Okay, but where does this all come from? People aren't just born this way, fully formed. To really get it, we have to go back. We have to look at the origin story. Because this wiring, this way of being, often starts developing way, way back in childhood.
You can almost see the progression, can't you? It starts in childhood with that feeling of being just a little off, not quite in sync with the other kids. Then, as a teenager, you become an expert observer. You learn to watch and translate yourself to fit in instead of just participating. And by the time you're an adult, you've built this fortress of independence. It looks like detachment, but it's actually a form of learned intelligence.
And this might be the most important thing to hear today. If people have ever called you closed off or emotionally unavailable, listen to this. You're not. You are protective. Protective of a part of you that was once vulnerable and got hurt. Your system learned that getting close can be dangerous, so it built a wall. That wall isn't a flaw. It's a testament to your survival. All right, let's pull all of this together now. We've kind of taken a sledgehammer to this idea that you're broken or bad at people. The goal here is to replace that old story with a new one, a truer one, about how your brain and your nervous system are actually designed. So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. You are not bad at socializing. Let that sink in. You are not bad at socializing. You are having a perfectly normal response to a social world that was not built for your type of nervous system. It's not a you problem. It's a you in this environment problem. You're not playing their game wrong. You're just playing a completely different game altogether. And so I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if your need for quiet isn't a weakness, but the very thing that gives you your depth? What if your pickiness with people is what makes you such a fiercely loyal friend when you do connect? What if everything you thought was a problem is actually your superpower? Maybe it's not something you need to fix.